Okay, so, I got that shelf up. Got this shelf up, this very long one. Have this shelf up. These two shelves up here. But if we pan over here, look what's happened. There's something missing right there. So, what's gone on? Okay, so as you all know, I've been working tirelessly from December up until now to try and get my library in order that I might be able to show it off someday. The date originally was set for the 27th of December of last year, but obviously there were complications and such, and that didn't pan out. So, I obviously had to put it on moratorium for a bit. And so I figured, it'll give me more time to set up and prepare. I'm not going to show you other parts of the room, but it is quite untidy, just because things have been moved around and such and everything, and it's just a big old mess. It really is, and I don't want you seeing any of that. But this shelf here, you can see, if I could just zoom in right there. So, in order that I might be able to fit more books on a shelf, you see I use these metal bookends that are typically used in conventional libraries. You're supposed to use them this way. You're supposed to have this little bit here, this short bit, flush up against the shelf, and this long bit's supposed to be flush up against the books, and then this is supposed to be under them. Instead of that, I figured a new way of doing it to where I'd be able to cram in more books was I would be able to put the longer end down, and they'll just have the books hang off like that, and that seemed to work rather well. Obviously on that shelf, there, a couple other shelves there, pretty much every single shelf I have those bookends, dipping downwards. You can even see there. And so I tried to do that with this one. And, I was doing rather well. I don't know if it means much to you, but, oh dear, do I even have it with me? I don't think I have it with me. I was going to show you the bookend, but whatever. Anyhow, I was, doing rather well with this, and I was continually shifting books around because, trying to get as much space as possible to store as many books as possible and still have some space for more books, which will be arriving on my birthday within the next few days. And so whilst I was doing this, I came up here, and this shelf, by the way, did not have a bookend at all. So I was just using this hardback book, if I can get it, the stories of Paul Bowles, to hold up everything, and that seemed to work rather well. But then when I did eventually use this method of inverting the bookend, the shelf basically, I had all these shelves, this one, this one, this one, this one, and those two have been put up by myself and my brother, and as you can see, they're fairly secure. They're not going anywhere. Whereas this one was put up by myself alone. So, as I was placing these books in order, the shelf ripped itself out of the wall, and down onto the bed came all of those books. And there's the shelf there. Evidently the problem was that this little board here, which you actually need to screw into, was fastened in there with a shorter little screw in the center, which made it less secure. Obviously, I actually had to go back and re-screw this, which now it's more secure. It's not budging. Obviously, you can see I ripped a hole in the wall. Oh, that's pretty bad in doing that. But yeah, all these books came down, and just a little previews to what I have here. I have all kinds of stuff. I have ghost and horror stories by Ambrose Bierce. I have Empire of the Sun by J.G. Ballard. That little book there. I still have this book. Remember this book? Yeah. I have a bind up of some of the Oz books by L. Frank Baum. Have those, and one of my favorite authors, Pierre Boulle, was actually the writer of this is Bridge Over the River Kwai, but he's also the author of another book that inspired a classic movie. Goodness, if I can find it. Oh, Lord. I tell you, I'm always, it's either I'm prepared or I'm not. A Planet of the Apes. So all kinds of stuff here. This all just came down. Luckily, fortunately, not many of these were damaged. Even there's Algernon Blackwood right there in a random Agatha Christie novel. None of these were damaged too much, I don't believe. So that's good. But the thing is, this shelf here, it's almost impossible to try and get it inside or safely secure in that bit there. So I ended up actually drilling in far too many screws than I needed to in order to get it in. And actually, those screws will not come out whatsoever. In fact, I think I stripped them in using the drill there, trying to get them out. So all this work, really, that I didn't have to do. And this shelf, along with these, was secure for 2 months. 2 months. It was able to hold all that weight. But I'm not sure whether I was putting weight on it or whether it was because I was going off the other end or what the deal was. Perhaps, as I said, it's probably because of this. It just came down. So obviously now I got to do a whole bunch of work that I didn't want to have to do. And the library tour, I was originally going to set it for the 30th of January, but for one reason or another, that didn't happen. And then so I was going to set it actually the week of my birthday, or the week after, or whatever, which is actually this coming week. But now I can't do that because I got this to deal with. So I don't know exactly when the tour will be. It'll probably be, I don't know, sometime in March or April. But also I've been experimenting with this new phone here. Because for a while I've been having problems with it. It kept shutting off randomly, I suppose because it had an update on it and it was rather faulty. But now that problem seems to have been rectified. So hopefully it will be able to hold out when I do eventually, hold a stream on this here. So that's good. I just need to figure out, the shelf debacle. And, just tidy up some more things here. I'm not even sure if I'll show you everything. I'll just show you probably what's on all these shelves, which you can probably see there's quite a bit. But anyhow, I just thought I'd let you all know about all this nonsense that's going on in my neck of the woods. A lot of very unusual books here. I have plenty of things. One of my favourite short story compilations, the Penguin Book of Modern British Short Stories. Absolutely excellent. I recommend anyone who enjoys the short form to go and get that. But I just thought I'd let you know what I'm dealing with, and that the library tour will be not as near as you think, but we'll certainly see what happens. In other news, with regard to the Foundation Buddy Read, I am actually I am actually almost done rereading the first book because it was so spectacular. And after that, I've been rereading it all this week, and I've been enjoying it immensely, even more so the second time than I did the first. It's just so wonderful. I never realized how much I loved science fiction until I read Asimov. It's just amazing. It really is. And it's the scope of it. Of course, I'll talk more about this at length in my review, but the scope of it is both big enough to where, you get a very diverse and a very lively world, but also it's small enough to where it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility, even though it does in fact take place, 12,000 years in the future. But yeah, I'm rereading the first book. I'm on, as I said, in this edition, I'm on, book 5, The Merchant Princes, which is the longest section. I will be reading that most likely tomorrow, because tonight I'm probably going to get to bed. But I've only got a few pages there. This thing is like 140 pages in this edition, and then afterwards I shall move on to if I can get the bloody thing. Foundation and Empire, which Logan has actually read. He's done a review of it, but I've not seen his review because I haven't read this book, obviously. But once I do read it, I will see it. And then obviously after that, I'd move on to Second Foundation. I'm very much looking forward to the other two novels. But other than that, that's all that's going on. Working on an outline for a future project, that I've been doing for a while. You can see there, it's an outline for a work of fiction that I've actually conceived of when I was 14 originally, but have actually come back to it in recent years. I'm just outlining each chapter as I go along. I'm not going to tell you much about this, but I will say that myself being now at war with Spirit, it is basically what I intend to do with this is to make it basically a farce of evolution, and to basically say that at the end of it, let none of this be taken as fact. Anyhow, that's all that's going on my end. Sorry to bring you this very unfortunate news. It's just a lot of bloody work to do. But this weekend hopefully I'll be able to get this shelf up. I think what we have to do is pre-drill the holes. There's plenty of holes drilled in there from when they was originally up there, like that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. So we'll have to somehow get these screws out of there and work with these holes. And hopefully we'll be able to get that shelf secure. Maybe, maybe not. But we'll see. Anyhow, that's it. Working on that, working on the outline, rereading the First Foundation, and I'm almost done with it. And we'll soon move on to Foundation and Empire. And we'll probably read that within a day, because Logan said that it was very good, a very fast-paced read, and is probably better than the first. Though, to be honest with you, the first book is just monumental. I don't believe anything can top, in the realm of science fiction, outside of those early novels by H.G. Wells and Jules Verne and Arthur Conan Doyle. I don't think anything can top what Asimov did in the First Foundation. I don't even think Dune. I've not read Dune yet, or Dune. I've not read it yet. It will be an eventuality, but I've not read Dune. I don't even think that will top this. But anyhow, that's all that's going on, and I hope you all have a good evening. It's evening when I'm filming this, and I'm just going to go ahead and go to bed in the room opposite. Not opposite, but right next to this one in the spare room, because obviously, where am I going to put all these books? Where am I going to put them? I can't put them there. Maybe there. Maybe in here, but I don't know. I'm not too sure. I'm sorry if I'm giving you too big of a preview of my library, but you don't exactly get an idea as to what's in here yet. I will go more in depth, obviously, when I do eventually get down to the tour. Anyhow, that's it, and we'll see you. Well, here's the bookend that I had used in trying to extend this shelf here, and which ultimately led to it falling down and collapsing. As you can see, that's probably why, because it's got these extra bits here. That might have been the reason. You know, it's not exactly flat, but there's the bookend. And I don't know if I mentioned it already, but all this happened on a Sunday. Unbelievable. Of all the things that could possibly happen on a Sunday, this had to be the one.